So we're going to be talking through the serviced accommodation channels that are out there and the software and how it's all interlinked and what speaks to what and why it does that and so on. So yeah, a lot of my investors ask me this and I have to give them a full rundown, and my virtual assistant's also asking me it. So I'm just making the diagrams and I'm just trying to break it down as simple and easy as possible so you can understand it. So, of course, over here we have the Airbnb, Booking.com, and Vrbo primary listings. The reason I'm calling them primary listings is because they are pretty much your short-term listings that you would originally set up. And the reason I'm saying primary is because we have duplicate, as you can see here, duplicate Airbnb listings, which are different listings of the same properties, and I use them for more long-term stays and long-term inquiries. So right here we got the primary listings. Okay, that's obviously most of your setup. You know, Airbnb, Booking.com, Vrbo, extremely important. So you would have your primary short-term listings set up on these platforms, as you can see here, and then you would connect all of these individually, Airbnb, Booking.com, Vrbo, to your channel manager. So what is your channel manager? So obviously just some examples here. I use Lodgify, of course Uplisting is another one. So we connect all of the listings individually to the channel manager. The channel manager is what I call like a calendar management system. It's also used for guest communication. So you can have one place for all of this. I should probably add that in here, to be honest. I'll just add that in here. Guest communication. Okay, so of course, guest communication on one platform. It is extremely helpful to have one app and one place on your phone or your laptop where you can chat to all of the different guests, especially when you get multiple properties and multiple listings. You know, it's a pain in the ass logging into Airbnb, chatting to someone, then logging into Booking.com, chatting to a guest there, then going to Vrbo, then going to Expedia. It's just chaos and it takes a lot of time. So this is a central place where you can communicate with guests, as well as calendar management. So your channel manager blocks out, this is extremely important, this is one of the main things and the main reasons why we use channel managers. Let's say you have a 5-bedroom house in Brighton, okay, and it is connected to Airbnb. That same property is also connected to Booking.com. It's also listed on Vrbo, so it's connected to all of these platforms, okay, and travel agencies. If we have a weekend booking this weekend on Airbnb, that information will get sent to the channel manager, and the channel manager will then automatically block out those nights, block out that weekend on Booking.com and on Vrbo and all the other platforms and the online travel agencies that you have connected your channel manager to for that property. Okay, so obviously that is extremely important. So it stops double bookings. There's nothing worse than having a double booking. Even though it's not your fault, sometimes it can happen. If you don't have a channel manager, it can happen. Sometimes if you're not fast enough blocking out the nights here, if you get a booking there, and you do get penalties. Airbnb hate it when you start cancelling the bookings. So do Booking.com. The guests hate it, and it's just chaos. So that's obviously one of the main things, the two main things in my eyes that the channel manager is used for. It's calendar management, blocking out or opening nights, and guest communication. As well, let's say you get a direct booking on, let's just say you get a direct booking, or let's say you want to go to that property for the weekend and you don't want anyone else to book it. You would then come to the channel manager, find the property, go to the calendar section and manually block out the weekend that you want to be staying there, so that no one else can book it. So when you do it over here on the channel manager, when you block those dates out for a direct booking, or if you're going to be staying there yourself, or you're having maintenance, if there's any issues and you don't want the property booked, you would manually do it on the channel manager, and that will just send a signal directly to Airbnb, Booking.com, all of those platforms, and block out those specific nights on all of those platforms. So again, it saves you time. Otherwise, if you didn't have the channel manager, you would have to go to Airbnb, go to the calendar, block the weekend off, then log into Booking.com, block that weekend off, and then all of the others. If you connect it to multiple channels, you can just imagine how long it's going to take. So that is very important there. Now we go on to pricing software. Okay, so I only use PriceLabs. I'm sure there's some more out there. PriceLabs is probably the most common in my circle with my investors and the people that I help and work with. So yeah, we got the pricing software. So as you can see here, the OTAs, I'm going to just call these OTAs. The OTA listings are connected to your channel manager, and then your channel manager is connected to PriceLabs or your pricing software. Okay. Now, this is extremely important because as you can see here, this is used for changing your price and your minimum night stay settings. Okay, so pretty much, right here again, changing prices or minimum night stay settings. So depending on, your availability or how many nights you want the property booked as a minimum and the pricing, it is all done through this. So this is extremely important for, again, your pricing and your minimum night stay settings. This has nothing to do with blocking out calendar dates, for blocking out nights, for opening nights. That is all done by the channel manager. Okay, so all of these three lovely platforms, systems, are all interlinked here. As you can see, they all chat to each other. Just some examples for this. Let me get you some. So of course, how I use PriceLabs, I have my minimum night stay, my minimum night per, my minimum price per night there. Then I have the base price, which, so minimum price, base price, and maximum price. Okay. And then depending on how in demand the property is that time of year, if it's summer, if there's loads of people booking Airbnbs or Booking.com properties around, if there's events, if it's in high demand, then the pricing software will automatically increase your pricing from your base price in between your base price and your maximum price that you've set. So it'll, increase, and then if it's winter and there's no bookings and, there's not any events happening in the area and not lots of traction, then it will automatically drop it from your base price towards your minimum price. So the pricing does this automatically depending on the demand in the area, okay? But very often it is not good enough. Like if I am, let's say it's Monday, well, it is Monday today. It's Monday today, and if I have no bookings for that week, for this week in my property, I'm going to go to PriceLabs and I'm going to drop the price manually by myself. Let's say my minimum price settings were £100 per night. I'm probably going to drop it to £70 for Monday to Thursday, and then let's say the weekend was set to £150. I'll probably drop that to £100, just to drop the price to get more bookings, because some money is far better than having no money, than having no bookings. Okay, so again, with the minimum night stays, my short-term properties, don't know what happened there, my short-term properties are set up as a 2-night minimum stay, but a lot of people are only looking to stay for 1 night You know, if they're there visiting family, if they are just in the area for a night, if they're going to a bar, blah, 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 blah. They might just want to stay for one night. So that is done through this. So your minimum night settings management is done from here. So on my listings, Monday to, let's just say this week. So this week, Monday to Sunday, it's a 2-night minimum stay. If I have no bookings and I want to get someone in there, personally, I override those minimum night stay settings when I'm dropping the price as well, and I turn it into a 1-night minimum stay. I know people that have 3-night minimum stays, that's the go-to, and sometimes if they don't have bookings, they would drop it down to a 2-night minimum stay. Okay, so that is how I use it. It's most of the time it's just me dropping the prices. A little bit when there's less demand, I have to do that manually. Well, I just do that manually, and I change the minimum night stay settings. Now, why that's important, okay? Because as soon as you change the minimum price, or just the pricing in general, and the minimum night stay settings, you just want to do it in one place. So when you do it here on PriceLabs, on the pricing software, it will send this information to the channel manager, and then the channel manager will directly transfer it out, all that information, to the properties on all of those platforms that you're trying to change. So it saves you a lot of time. It really, really does. And it is, it's just a game changer, especially if you have more than one property. Even if you have one property, it's so worth it. But yeah, so as you can see here, I'll just run that through it again before I go to the duplicate Airbnb listings. So you got your OTAs, all your properties over here, your primary listings, which are mostly your short-term listings. They are connected to your channel manager, which in my case, it's Lodgify, where we control the calendar management and guest communication from. That channel manager is connected to PriceLabs software, which is the pricing software. Over there, you have to log in and change your prices, update your prices and your minimum night stay settings. You can only do that from there. And then all of that information gets relayed back to the channel manager, and then it gets distributed. I should really have 3 arrows here, multiple arrows. I'll just try this one. Let's do this. Oopsie daisy. Just trying to show you that there's this information from the channel manager goes to multiple properties. It goes to all of these different listings. So all of that information comes in here. Then it goes to PriceLabs. So that's connected to PriceLabs. And then everything you do, it's like, let's say this is pretty much like the top of the triangle, okay? You got your PriceLabs here, which is very important, your pricing and your minimum night stay settings. You control it there, which gets sent to your channel manager, which then gets sent to Airbnb and Booking.com. Okay, so that's the most of it. Now, what people find confusing, especially my VA, while she's getting used to everything, and a lot of people that are new to duplicate Airbnb listings, they are like, well, why isn't my channel manager connected to my duplicate listings, and the pricing's different and everything's all crazy? Don't worry, you're not alone. I was in that same boat 2 years ago when I started all of this, but it's very simple. On Airbnb, you have a sneaky option to make duplicate listings of the same property. Wink, wink. So I do this with all of my properties. I've got 3 to 5 duplicate listings for each of my short-term primary listings. This is only on Airbnb. Booking.com do not allow it. Neither does Verbo. I don't think any other channels allow it. Any other online travel agencies. Okay. Now, the unique thing about this situation is, so some of my Airbnb duplicate listings are just listings alone, okay? They are not connected to PriceLabs, but one or two of mine are connected to PriceLabs, okay? But none of them are connected to the channel manager. That is very important. You've got to know how these are all linked up and why, okay? So the reason these are not connected to the channel manager, what is one of the main reasons here of the channel manager? That is to automatically, I should probably say automatically, let's see if we can spell this right, automatically block out, okay, or you can do it manually, but that automatically does it. It automatically, I don't know if there's 1 hour or 2 hours, I'm just going with 2 hours, YOLO, doesn't look right there. It blocks out the nights when they are booked on these platforms. Now, with the duplicate listing, if you have a 1 night stay or a 2 night stay, you don't want that information going to your channel manager and then going to your duplicate listings, because all of your duplicate listings should be on request only. That means that no one can instantly book this property, okay? The reason we have that, so these are all instant book, well, at least mine are. Guests can book that directly, like instantly, bash, and check in there on the day. These ones are all on request only, okay? The only reason that is because if these were on instant book, it would be impossible to stop double bookings and just double stays. 2 people booking the same property at the same time. So that is why these are on request only. I'll probably add that in here as well. Request only, and I'll say here, probably say instant book. Okay, yeah, let me do this. That makes sense. Yeah, so these are on request only, these are on instant book. The only reason that there's an arrow between them is because you've got to remember, if you accept a booking, a long-term or medium-term or any booking on your duplicate Airbnb listing, it is not connected to your channel manager. So you have to then know and remember, once you accept it, to go onto Airbnb. Oh no, actually no. I'm going to change this to here. Oh, that's strange. I was trying to see if this would work. If you put it here. Oh, don't know what's happening there. Long story short, you have to then block out, or you've got to manually block out those nights on these platforms. Otherwise, you're going to get a double booking potentially. The easiest way to do that, if you have a duplicate Airbnb listing booking, you can just save time by going to your channel manager over here and finding that property and blocking out those nights that you've accepted a booking for on the duplicate. Therefore, your channel manager will then automatically go to all of these platforms and block out those nights. So that is why the arrow is there. You've got to remember to block these nights out if you accept a booking here, because otherwise you will get a double booking. What's the easiest way to do that? As we said here, you have to just go to your channel manager, because that does all of them at the same time. A lot of people ask, like, why do we have duplicate listings? I'll tell you now, it is amazing to get long-term listings. That is my strategy. I get medium to long-term listing bookings up to literally 10 months, up to 12 months. And it's extremely hands-off. It's good profit. You know exactly what you're getting per month. And yeah, it's a lot more hands-off and passive. That's why I do it personally. But the reason is on request only, and you don't block out the nights if you have the nights booked on these platforms, is because I just use it as a lead magnet. Let's say this weekend's booked on Airbnb, I would keep the duplicate listing of the same property open on request only, of course, because someone might say, hey, I'm wanting to stay this weekend, but I'm wanting to stay for 6 months. Now, to me, I'm going to be a bit cheeky and be like, yes, we can definitely do that and accept that booking. But then I would accept it, make sure it's 100% guaranteed, and then I'll be very cheeky and go to Airbnb and cancel the reservation. You know what I mean? Very cheeky on the hush hush. To be able to host that 6-month booking, because what's better, a 6-month booking or a weekend booking? Yeah, a 6-month booking, exactly. Okay, so that is why these are always open. These are always just you using them as lead magnets. Even if someone requests and you don't have enough space and there's too many bookings on these ones for you to cancel out and get away with it, then I'll just say, hey, I'm so sorry, we do not have availability. We've got other guests in there at the moment. You can just say they're direct guests or whatever. And then you can just decline the booking, decline the request, I'm sorry. So yeah, you're not going to get double bookings. If you do it correctly. And that is pretty much it. So I didn't touch on this actually. Your channel manager, calendar management and blocking out or opening nights, you have to do this directly on the platform. So let's say you've got multiple listings for the same properties, multiple duplicate listing for the same property, and let's say you do actually want to block the night off. Let's say you've got or let's just say this Airbnb booking up here gets a 1-year booking, like a magical booking, then fair enough. Then you don't want so many requests coming through, every week or every month saying, hey, I want to book for 1 month, because you do not have availability. So you would then have to go to the calendar on the Airbnb website or app and block out those nights manually. Okay, so this doesn't do it automatically. Let's get a little bit of this. Okay, that didn't help. Oh my word, sorry. Oh my word. Manually. I'm so dyslexic, as you can see. Anyway, I think it's like that. That's so not, but you know what I mean. So you've got to manually do it here because it is not connected to the channel manager. And that is pretty much it, everyone. Service, accommodation, channels, and software. I don't know if, So just a quick overview to wrap it up. These are your instant book primary listings, short term. I'm going to put that here as well. Put that there. Short term listings, they are connected to your channel manager, which manages the calendar by automatically blocking out or opening the night. That's also where you do the guest communication. That channel manager is connected to pricing software. In this case, it's PriceLabs. On PriceLabs, it's very self-explanatory. You do your pricing settings, you change your prices on PriceLabs and your minimum night stay settings. That information gets sent to your channel manager, and then your channel manager distributes it, spreads it out to all of the listings, making your life a hell of a lot easier. And then you've got your duplicate Airbnb listings, which are another category on their own. And some of them are, it depends on how you set it up, but some of mine are not connected to PriceLabs. I just do the pricing on Airbnb directly, but some of them are. So in this case, they're connected to PriceLabs. Again, over here, as we can see, pricing and minimum night stay settings then gets pushed out to Airbnb. You've got to remember, the most important thing about these is if you get a booking that you accept and confirm for a duplicate Airbnb listing, then you have to always remember to instantly go to your channel manager, block out those dates for the specific property, for the same property that you made the duplicate from, and then the channel manager will then automatically block those nights off straight away on Airbnb and Booking.com and Vrbo and everything else. Otherwise, because they're on instant book, you will get a double booking, and it is a nightmare. So yeah, you've got to remember that's why these are connected. That the only reason that arrow is there is because, you know what, let's do this, YOLO. It'll make life a lot easier. I'm going to delete that one. Why? There we go. There we go. That makes sense. So when you accept a booking here, then that arrow is there to remind you to go to your channel manager and block out the nights. That is how you're going to stop double bookings, okay? Because these are on instant book. Those are always open. The only way that they're going to be closed off is if you go to your channel manager and book them. And block them out. So that is everything. I hope that's been helpful. It's my first time using this little software diagram thing. So yeah, I'm just getting used to it. But I hope that was useful. As I said, if you did enjoy it, drop a comment. If you want me to dive deeper into anything else, Airbnb or pricing or channel manager or software related, then please let me know in the comments, and we can get it done. Peace out. Have a good Monday.